Pega Certified Business Architect, PCBA, 86V1 PEGAPCBA86V1 exam questions are the best material for you to pass the test easily. Share some Pegasystems PEGAPCBA86V1 exam questions in the video. 1. In a purchase order case, the vendor assigned might not respond to a customer query in the desired amount of time required by policy. The vendor must respond within the time required according to policy. Both the vendor and customer should be notified at each milestone. To satisfy this requirement, create a service level that specifies two of the following options. Choose 2. A. Set the goal to be the required response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. B. Set the deadline to be the required response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. C. Set the deadline to be the desired response time based on policy and sends notifications to both parties. D. Set the goal to be the desired response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. 2. The goal milestone in a service level defines that amount of time _blank. A. In which the case or step should be completed. B. Allowed for a user to advance to the next stage. C. Allowed before an assignment is considered overdue. D. In which the case or step must be completed. 3. An application allows employees to submit expense reports on a weekly basis. Expense reports must be approved by both employee's manager and audited by finance. The tasks may be completed in any order, but both must be approved for payment to be made. How do you configure the approvals in the application? Choose 1. A. Configure cascading approval process based on user reporting structure. B. Configure a case-wide optional process for each approval process. C. Configure parallel processes for each set of required steps. D. Configure cascading approval process based on an authority matrix. 4. In a purchase order application, you have been asked to add an order total field that is used on multiple forms in the application. You want to make sure that whenever the input values change, the order total changes on all the forms. Which two of the following are reasons would you choose to use a declarative expression rather than a data transform to calculate the value? Choose 2. A. A declare expression updates the total value on all the forms when any form containing the field is submitted. B. When updating a property that is calculated, you do not need to identify every calculation that updates any of the source values and manually recalculate them. C. The system monitors input properties and determines when to update the target property value. 5. Which of the following steps provide easy configuration and maintainability of a savable data page for an existing data type? Choose 3. A. Set the data save options save type to database save. B. Set the data page definition edit mode to savable. C. Set the data save options class. D. Set the data page definition edit mode to read only. E. Set the data page definition structure to list. 6. In a new prescription request, all NSAID medication requests must have a pharmacist with DRG Level 3 approvals. Any pharmacist who meets or exceeds Level 3 may approve. To meet this requirement, you configure the case design to have _blank. Choose 1. A. A send email utility step that B. A step that routes to the pharmacist level 3 skilled queue. C. A custom utility step that uses a standard Pega router. D. A step that routes to pharmacist level 3 worklist. 7. You are configuring a standard email to automatically be sent to loan applicants informing them that their loan has been approved. The requirement states that the email must include content stating the loan's terms and conditions, which is regularly updated. The content is in a paragraph rule shared by other standard emails throughout the organization. How would you configure your email? A. Add the applicant name and loan office properties, include correspondence fragment that contains a link to the organization's website page that contains loans and conditions. B. Add the applicant's name, loan office, and loan amount properties. Also, insert the paragraph rule. C. Add the applicant's name, loan office, and loan amount properties. Also, copy and paste the paragraph content into your email. D. Add placeholder text for applicant's name, loan office, and amount. Also, insert the paragraph rule. 8. Select the use case that requires an integration by using robotic process automation, RPA. A. An online ordering application submits credit card information to a payment processor through a web service. B. An order management application updates a customer profile in a legacy system that lacks an exposed API. C. A drug trial management application submits trial data to a protected system through a secure connection. D. A service management application lists paint options sourced from a Pega platform data object. 9. In a purchase order case, the vendor assigned might not respond to a customer's query in the desired amount of time required by policy. The vendor must respond within the time required according to policy. Both the vendor and customer should be notified at each milestone. To satisfy this requirement, create a service level that specifies two of the following options. A. Set the deadline to be the desired response time based on policy and sends notifications to both parties. B. Set the goal to be the required response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. C. Set the goal to be the desired response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. D. Set the deadline to be the required response time based on policy and send notifications to both parties. 10. What are two types of report definitions available in Pega 8? Choose two. A. List. B. Summary. C. Table, grid. D. Detailed.